Sunday's loss to the Buffalo Bills, quarterback Mike White left the game for 7 plays due to a rib injury. Now, luckily for Mike White, he is okay and is set to start this week against the Detroit Lions. But if he were to go down with an injury in that game, who should the New York Jets have as his backup? Let's go ahead and talk about it. When Mike White left the game for 7 plays, Joe Flacco stepped in for him at quarterback. Zach Wilson couldn't because, well, he was inactive. Joe Flacco, in his 7 snaps, handed the ball off 3 times, threw the ball 3 times, and got sacked once. The sack he had resulted in a fumble that the Buffalo Bills recovered, and because of the fumble, they scored points off of it. Obviously, that's not ideal, and Joe Flacco also finished yesterday's game with a 0.1 quarterback rating. I mean, he was god-awful. He was missing wide-open receivers, and the big criticism we had of Joe Flacco early in the season, the fact that he was just a statue in the pocket, I mean, that he was a statue, literally a statue in yesterday's game. Dude could not move whatsoever. So it begs the question, what should the New York Jets do at the quarterback position next week? Now, the obvious answer would be Zach Wilson. Make him the New York Jets backup quarterback next week. And while that seems very logical, you also got to realize there's a reason why Zach Wilson isn't the backup quarterback for the Jets, even though he's played much better than Joe Flacco. It's because he's doing that whole fundamental reset right now. I mean, a big reason to why he's been benched is because his fundamentals aren't right, because his head really isn't into the game, his mindset isn't right. And a big reason to why the New York Jets are making him inactive is to get all of that stuff right. I mean, even dressing him out just plays a huge part into what his mindset is. So if you just let him sit on the sidelines with no pads, with no jerseys for a couple of games, maybe it makes him right. Now, maybe his fundamental reset is over. Maybe the New York Jets plan to put him back on the field or make him active week 15 against the Detroit Lions. Maybe that was a plan all along. Maybe Zach Wilson's fundamental reset went along better than the New York Jets hoped. I mean, Robert Saleh has been saying all season long, or ever since Zach Wilson got benched, not all season long, that he wants to get Zach Wilson back onto the field. And with Joe Flacco playing as bad as he did against the Buffalo Bills, with Mike White having some injury concerns, it makes the most sense to potentially put Zach Wilson back on the field this week against the Detroit Lions, a team that doesn't exactly have the best defense in the world. They actually currently have the 2nd worst defense statistically ranked in the NFL right now, so you wouldn't be putting him against a defense like the Buffalo Bills, a defense that has been letting up a ton of yards all season long. So if I'm Coach Robert Saleh, I would put Zach Wilson back into the lineup this week, but it all just depends on where he is right now with his fundamental reset. If he's ahead of game, if he's right at where the Jets want him to be, make him the backup quarterback. I don't think he deserves to start over Mike White just because White's been balling these past few games, but I do think he deserves to get the nod ahead of Joe Flacco, who really hasn't earned it. But what do you guys think about this whole subject? Comment it down below, and I'm your host, Jet, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.